VP, 3 billion euros, 4.5 million unique visitors per day coming to the website, and we don't have to pay for that. Okay, so that's one of our model, is we don't pay for the traffic. We work with our brands to have the best product offering, because when we have a great offer, people come. Okay, so we have 4.5 million unique visitors. We are operating in 14 countries in the world, in 2 continents, Europe and South America, 12 countries in Europe, and we have a member database of 50 million people, which is like the 4th country in Europe.
So how is innovation at the core of Vente Privée DNA?
Actually, our first innovation was to invent a profitable e-commerce model, because e-commerce players by design are not profitable. Why? Because they spend 15 to 20% of their revenue in traffic, and they have a conversion rate of 1%. So it means that you write a check to Google and you pay for traffic when 98% of that traffic that you paid will not buy. So this model cannot exist, cannot be profitable. In order to be profitable, you need to have a better conversion rate. So on Vente Privée, we work on one thing: self-generating traffic and big conversion rate. At VP, we have a conversion rate of approximately 10 to 12% at the beginning of the event, and when we're out of stock, this conversion rate goes down. But the main principle is that people tend to accept that e-commerce should be 1 or 2% conversion rate. It can be much more, but it's much more complicated to do. You have to work on the product offering. So spend less in generating traffic and spend more in your products.
So you said your objective was really to have a much better conversion rate. So how do you manage to reach that?
Something happened, something like 10 years ago. The iPhone was created, okay? And people starting to use their mobile phone to shop and to see things. The problem with smartphones is that conversion rate on a smartphone is 2 to 3 times lower. So you can have a beautiful image, but people will less buy because it's smaller. They have much less time than when you comfortably sit on a desktop with a keyboard. You can give 10 minutes to a shopping session with a desktop. With a smartphone, you don't spend 15 minutes looking for things. So you need to be sharper. And to do that, we need to work through data. Okay, so we need to understand how you will react and how we can personalize your experience. And by doing that, there's 2 ways to do that. Use the historical data that we have on you and ask you new data. If you take Netflix, for example, when there's a new registered user, first thing they ask you is, here's 10 movies, give me 3 that you like. And then you choose 3. And from these 3, they're going to propose you other ones. And then every time you're going to watch a movie, they're going to enhance their algorithm. And we do exactly the same thing with fashion. When you go on Vente Privée, you're logged from the first page, so we know who you are, and we log all the intent that you have. And then we ask you, how can I personalize the experience for you? How can I personalize the catalog so you don't have to browse for 10 or 15 minutes? You have instantly what you want. And when you have that, conversion rate is higher, of course.
So other than using data to improve the experience and target better and everything, how did you adapt your offer and services to shopper needs?
You have to adapt to your consumer, and the thing is that they're changing very fast. Their behavior are changing very fast. So the main way to do that is to be very agile. Okay, you don't know what's going to happen. We have all these generational millennials arriving with a very complete different behavior, and they're arriving faster than we think. So online, we have to change all the time the way we adapt things. So I cannot tell you what's going to happen in a month or 6 months or in a year. Everything is changing very fast. So what I have to do is to be able to change fast and to be agile. Agile means to do mistakes, to be allowed to do mistakes, but small mistakes. Okay, so we're part of big corporation. I don't like mistakes at millions of euros. I don't like them, but I like to have my teams working and trying things, because that's how you're gonna adapt yourself. There's no magic formula. Every single situation is different. So the only thing that you can do is to say, okay, I'm gonna adapt myself. I'm gonna try a lot of things. I'm gonna try to have more success than mistakes, and that's how we do. It costs more, but it's more profitable.
Do you have examples of mistakes that became opportunities?
The main issue is to be right too early. Okay, so a lot of time we've been trying things, and things were failing. Okay, and instead of keeping trying, we said no, it's not working. Actually, you need to give tries. You need to try things. So we've been having for maybe 18 months one idea, and I kept to that idea with some teams working on it, which is I want to sell products that are in stores. And the first tries were terrible, very bad results. And now we learned by doing. We did something like 18 different scenarios, 18 different methods from the original idea to what we have now. And now we do million euros. You know, we do sales that can do million of euros. So we need to go through that steps and to that successful mistakes, and and to adapt yourself to try to find how it works. But even today, we're not there yet. We need to be agile and to try all the time. So you need to adapt yourself because all situation is different.
Would you give an example of a manufacturer which is your best supplier and why?
Today, we consider that there's only one client, the consumer, and we both need not to have a client-supplier relationship, but we need to work for the end consumer. Okay, so that's how we want to work. Partnership, and our consumer is the final consumer. So we always say that client is not the king anymore, he's the master of the universe. So we need to, never say no to him. So whatever he wants, we need to find a way to provide to him. And we cannot do that if we're not partner. We cannot do that if we don't have the same objective. So reducing shipping times, reducing offer, allowing ourselves to go into the stores and everything, that's the kind of partnership we're looking today, because the only way to enhance the customer experience is to work closely together and not traditionally with your position on prices and all this traditional confrontation. So things are changing. It's very different from Amazon. Amazon, it's an e-commerce website. When you want something, you go there, you dive into the search box, and you type it. Vente privée, it's very different. It's like you're in a mall and you have 200 stores and you don't know where you're gonna go. You just pass by, you enter, and if you like things, you buy. That's where we want to go. We want to be that pleasure mall. Somewhere you go there and you want to buy, like we buy irrationally, okay, through that kind of behavior.
What will be your biggest value generator tomorrow?
So when conversion rate are 2, 3, 4, 5%, it means that 95% of the people that came did not buy. But we're talking about millions of people that come and do not buy online. And online, we have access to a lot of data. We know when you came, we know you came back, we know what you saw, we know your intent of purchase. So data is the biggest market tomorrow. Why? Because online will not be the only place where you're going to buy, because today e-commerce is only 5 to 7% of retail. Okay, 95% of physical purchase are done in stores. Even in the US, it's only 7%, which means that I think that online we're going to catch data, purchase intent, and we're going to try to retarget people to have them purchase in store. So I think that tomorrow I will be one of these big data provider.
And do you think big data is really the future of e-retail?
So big data, it's everything. Now people they don't talk about big data, they talk about smart data. Okay, so now it's another thing. First thing, it's a revolution, but mainly in IT. It's a technological revolution. 10 years ago, when you had a billion of data, you had systems, you needed 1 or 2 days to query them and to have an answer. So it was very complicated and the system were not that good. And the big data, it's a revolution about being able to handle billions and billions and billions of data. You don't have to sort, you don't need to aggregate. You just take everything and you can request everything in 1 second. So you can have live things. So that's the theory. That's what IT is capable to do. But we're talking about a lot of algorithms, machine learnings, and all these things. So big data, it's a good thing, but you still need humans. You still need humans to interpret data. Don't think that one day an algorithm or an an AI will do things by their own. You will still need humans. So for me, big data, it's a way for humans to become better, and it's not something that will replace humans like we're hearing today. Okay.
And can you be more precise? Why do you need humans?
Very simple thing. A human, when he say, I like it, it's beautiful, it's about feelings. Computers, they don't have feelings. It's only 0, 1. So they can interpret things. They can have statistics saying people that like that also like that, but they don't know if it's good looking or bad looking. They don't know if it's fashion or it's not fashion. They don't know if it's nice or not. They have no feelings. So it's just statistics. So it doesn't mean that if 65% of the people do that, then I'm going to do that. We have a lot of data scientists, and last time a guy told me, oh, I found an algorithm. So if you bought shoes in February and your Facebook account starts with an I, then you're going to buy your fridge in September. Okay. I don't believe in it, of course, but that's the kind of thing. It's only stats. So sometimes you are at 85%, sometimes you are at 25%. In order to be more efficient, take that AI and give it to a human and ask him, do you believe in it or not? So we strongly believe that tomorrow we're going to have humans helping you to buy online. Okay? So I think we're going to have stylists.
So would you say that Amazon is pretty much your only competitor?
Amazon, it's you need to respect them, of course, but there's one thing, you should never copy them. Amazon, they're doing $120 billion online, and their growth over a year is $25 billion. In 1 year, they grew by 25 billion. Number 2 in the US, it's Apple Store, it's 25 billion. So the growth of Amazon equals the number 2. And if you take the top 20, Amazon is first, and number 2 to number 20 are not pure players. It's only retailers that went online. And if you sum number 2 till number 20 in terms of revenue, you're smaller than Amazon. So the risk today is to say, I want to do the same thing because they're first and they know. No. They're there because they were able and they were super financed, and bravo, really bravo for what they did. But one day they will open stores. And when they're going to open store, it's going to be very bad for the rest of the world. Okay, very bad. So I really strongly encourage that people, retailers, they go online, they start to have strategy when they stop saying no to consumer. And what I strongly believe is that the biggest competitor of Amazon, it's Google. If Google index the inventory of all stores around you, then when you're going to do a query, you're going to buy from a store nearby. It will be cheaper, it will be faster, you can go there, it will be a better experience. So today, Amazon is so powerful. Why? Because retailers are so harmless. But the day retailers will publish their inventory online, and work closely with Google local shopping and everything, I'm sure things will change.
So how do you manage to link both speed and innovation?
First, through mistakes, like we said earlier. But there's one thing: speed is not something that you can, discuss. Why? Because today, worldwide competition is not about big players and small players. It's about fast and slow. We have now normally small players that are fast. We always had startups that are faster than big groups, and you have big groups that are really slow. But the new things now is you have large players that are very fast, and the bigger they are, the faster they go. Why? Because they learned how to be more agile, how to make small mistakes to learn by doing. If you go at Facebook, for example, they have teams of engineers. They have 1,000 teams of 6 people. 1,000 teams of 6 people. You don't have 1,000 new features every month. Every month, Mark Zuckerberg asks the team, okay, what have you done? So it's bottom-up innovation. It's not Zuckerberg asking for, I want a like button, I want that. No, they propose, and he chooses. So every month, you don't have 1,000 propositions, but you have 1,000 teams. So it's not every month the same teams proposing things. And then he has to choose. And why does he go faster? Because the bigger he is, the more money he has. And one ID can pay the rest of the teams. Okay? And that's what we're trying to do. We used to have 200 engineers at VP. We have a plan to go up to 1,000 engineers. Why? Because we want teams to do things. We don't want projects anymore. Because projects are top-down things. Teams and product teams are bottom-up solution. People will propose us something, and the only thing that we tell a team is how much do you cost per year, and what you do needs to pay your salaries. Because if it pays your salary, I don't care about having a team or not. Okay? So that's what we do. And what we experience now is that one team can pay 20 teams. So you don't need all the team to be successful. But when you do projects, you want all your projects to be successful. So that's the thing. Give the right to mistakes. It's very, very, it's something that has been invented for 17 years in the West Coast, in the US. And now it became a standard. So we have to go faster, and that's a way to go faster.
What are your key performance indicators?
So we always have traditional KPIs, like revenues and everything. What I like to see is conversion rate. It's very important because online revenue, it's traffic multiplied by conversion rate and multiplied by average baskets. Conversion rate shows you if your product offering is good or not. Okay? Working on traffic, it's easy. You can pay people to come. Conversion rate, it's really the right metric that says your offer please people or not. So that's the first one. Then you need to remember that one thing, it's e-commerce, it's not about selling something to someone. It's about reselling to the same person without having to pay Google for him to come back. Okay? So you need to generate satisfaction. So NPS metrics, customer satisfaction index, are the best KPI to understand what will be your future revenues. A lot of people are looking at revenues, but revenues are KPIs of the past. Figures of the past. It's past orders. If you want to know what is your trend, look at the satisfaction from past orders. If you have a good NPS, if you have a good customer satisfaction index, then you know that your future revenue will be bigger than your past revenue. So focus on customer satisfaction. It's the main thing.
How do you think e-retail will evolve in the next 5 to 10 years?
As I said, e-commerce is only 5% of retail. So it's not about, are we going to buy more online or more offline? We buy in both channels. So we're talking about omni-channel for more than 8 years. I think the first time that I heard that word, we're not there yet. So at some point, we need to change the experience in the physical stores. It has not changed since the Second World War. Okay, it's been such a long time where the customer experience hasn't changed. It's not about putting big TV screens or big tablets and everything. No, it's about understanding why people goes in stores today. And when they're there, they wanna have access to everything, better service, uh, reward. They wanna have more. So let's try to do more. I've seen some retailers in the US trying things, saying, okay, you have a loyalty card and everything, and the first thing that you have when you enter the store is type your phone number. It's not give your loyalty card and everything. You type your phone number, then someone will come, recognize you through your phone number because phone number is a unique ID, and then you have a personalized experience. I think that's where we're going. Enhance the experience in store.